Welcome to Spotlight on St. John's. I'm your host, Brian Brown. St. John's University is a Catholic, Vincentian, metropolitan, and global university, and St. John's is on a mission to ensure student success. Today, we will take a look at the rapidly growing industry of esports and the global sensation behind competitive, organized video gaming. Esports is growing at an incredible rate, and that growth creates new opportunities, not just for gamers, but for spectators, the ever-changing tech industry, advertisers, and video game developers. And we're not just talking fun and games. This is big business. Let's watch. Maya, Anthony, welcome to Spotlight on St. John's. Anthony, you are a senior from the Bronx. You're an IT major with a minor in French. You're getting ready to graduate. But you've also seen the esports gaming program take off here at St. John's. Talk a little bit about what you've seen happen over your last 4 years when it comes to gaming at St. John's University.
So gaming on St. John's specifically, has evolved, and it's started to catch on with not only administrators, but they've also they've always caught the eye of every student on St. John's on campus. So whether you're all the way from the down end all the way to the residence village, or even here and then in the beautiful new renovated building, even to D'Angelo Center, every student that's a gamer that's even touched a controller or have always touched a mouse and a keyboard, they've known esports has been here, it has its longevity, and they believe that they can make it into something that can spin their career into something great. St. John's now, as of last year from the summer, when the newly renovated computer lab, which has now become what's known as the Tech Commons.
It's a hub for technology.
Yes.
And a lot of new activities.
Yeah, it's where brand new 12 high-end gaming machines, Aurora R7s, were built courtesy of CPS, and it's all of its partners and all of its donations from all of its St. John's donors. They came together and they said, we want to give students something back for either staying with us or starting their career as a Johnny, starting at their career as a St. John's student. So when they leave, like myself, after 4 years, they'll leave saying, I'm a St. John's student. I participated in the esports program that we now have at St. John's, which has now flourished into 3 games. And there are more games to be coming down with professional teams to be forged and formed soon, maybe even by the next hour, the next week, month, years even.
We're going to talk about that because it's a growing industry, but it's also a growing phenomenon right here on campus. Now, Maya, you're a first-year student. Could you talk about how you fell into the gaming scene here at St. John's?
So I had a friend who showed me to the D'Angelo Center, which is where there's a lot of people hanging out all the time, and I saw some people playing Overwatch very specifically, and I started talking to them more and more, and they got me into it and got me into playing with them, and that's kind of how I figured everything out here and started playing with more and more people, and even made some friends that way too.
Terrific. So it was a nice entree into your first year experience. Now, you are a computer science major.
Yes.
So you incorporated this into your academics and your classroom studies as well as the extracurriculars. Could you talk about, I guess, what it is you hope to learn here during your St. John's time?
So I hope to become part of game design eventually, and that's kind of why I went in computer science specifically. And the esports scene is kind of helping me get myself more exposure into just gaming as well as the gaming community, because if we start winning, then I'll definitely have a lot more exposure into the entire gaming community as a whole.
Terrific. Now, you're both members of the St. John's Thunderbirds, and that's the name of our e-gaming team.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about your experience on that team and, how do you meet? Where do you meet? How do you practice, train? What is it like?
So I'm the starting manager and captain for the Thunderbirds team. So I'm the one that handpicked and recruited Maya and a whole slew, so about 7 others. So we're a group of 8. So as a captain, according to TESPA, which is the organization that's allowing us to play at a competitive high collegiate level, under the rules, it says that I'm able to participate as well in case of any emergency. So with starting a team, I am able to see everyone's skill level and how they're able to, from their own practicing, from just them playing the game on their, by themselves, and their individual skill, take all of these, different elements and then organize them in a tightly knit group where we are able to communicate, which we use the service Discord, which is there's also a modern day version of, business version of it called Slack, where you're able to communicate with anyone in real time and send messages. You're able to send images, audio files, etc. Where we've formed, or I started the Discord server service, as it's called on Discord on its service, where all of us, my entire team, including those who either go from who go to St. John's, who don't go to St. John's, or from the outside, or they simply just want to see, they're able to communicate with the team, and they're able to either talk to us, or in the case of my team and myself, we're able to call out anything, or we need to send a message of we have a schedule change, or we're playing this team at this time. And for practicing, we're able to schedule, we either play at home, or we use the Tech Commons to facilitate start the streaming, because we use Twitch to stream our scrimmages and our official games. So for our varsity, our national, and our regional games. So
you don't need necessarily to all be under one roof.
No.
You could be in your dorm room, and you could be in the Tech Commons, and you're practicing and training and communicating together.
Right.
All right. So Zoe, we're here at the Technology Commons of the Queens campus of St. John's University. What's going on here today?
So right now we have a lot of people playing. All of these computers have several different games on them. A few people like to play League of Legends, some play Overwatch, and then there's a couple other games that you could download. We also have 3D printers, which are right now not as busy, especially since it's the beginning of the semester.
Right.
But as the semester goes on, we get filled up with requests from people who would just like to see their creations come to life, or for classes. I know that there's a lot of media classes where you get to work with 3D printers a lot more.
Terrific. Zoe, you are a first-year student
Yes,
from all the way from
Yeah.
California here in New York. What brought you to St. John's, and what have you been involved in? I understand you are the manager of our League of Legends team that competes in the Big East Conference.
Yes, I am. So I'm from California, like you said. I actually don't like the heat so much. So to come to New York, where there's so much opportunity and where it's only warm to uncomfortably hot 1.5 seasons of the year, was a lot better. I am a first-year student, and I am the manager of the League of Legends.
How did you get involved with League of Legends here at campus?
So there was an interest form that was released to the whole school over email. There were flyers where it said, if you are interested in being a part of our Big East team, fill out this form, and we will get back to you if we would like you here too.
Okay.
So I filled out the form, and they got back to me, and I was super excited. I was telling everyone when I got the call back. And so there was a tryout process, and I went through the tryout process myself. And at the end of it, I realized that I wasn't the best player there.
Okay.
And I was okay with that.
That's great.
But I really wanted to be a part of something bigger. And I wanted to still be involved with this team.
Okay.
And so I approached the supervisor, and I told him I would really like to be helpful. I would totally be okay if there's like a manager spot open. And he came back to me and said, the spot's yours.
That's wonderful. Now, what does the manager do?
So what I do is I make sure that all of our players are given the opportunity to practice, and they all have the resources that they need to get better and to improve.
Terrific. Terrific. Now, you still play on your own?
Yeah. I try to get in as much as I can, but obviously there's not as much time
between your academics
Yeah.
and all the other extracurriculars. What's your major here?
Physics.
Physics.
Yeah.
So is there a connection between the legends and physics, or?
Not particularly. Gaming has just been a part of my life. I think I got it from my dad.
Oh, that's wonderful. You used to play growing up or
Yeah.
play together?
Played
Yeah.
a lot.
Wonderful. Well, this is a nice new facility, and I don't know what these kids are playing, but it looks like fun.
I think we think it's fun.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand it, but
Excellent.
we'll get them around one day.
Well, Zoe, thank you for your time. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much.
Now, the Big East Conference, which St. John's belongs to, has added e-gaming and esports as a competitive sport. And here at St. John's, we have a team that plays League of Legends in the Big East Conference. Could
Yes.
you speak to a little bit about that?
So from the knowledge that I know, because it's rare, I only play League of Legends casually with my friends, maybe
Okay.
now and again have a good couple of laughs, and
Right.
I may be a bad player, I may not know what I'm doing at all, because there's about 100 plus characters and they all have their own abilities and they all do different things. It's hard to keep up, but I have to give it to the League of Legends varsity team here at St. John's. Those guys are at high levels of competitive play on their own, separate. They're all diamonds.
Right.
So it runs from iron, bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, master, and then challenger. I believe that's the
And they're
grading
playing
system.
other Big East schools
Yes.
exclusively in League of Legends.
Exclusively in League of
There's
Legends.
standings and rankings.
Yep.
And in general, there's player rankings in all these sports, yes, in terms of the e-gaming? Now, Maya, the demographics of esports, at least fans, are it's like 60% male, 40% female. Could you speak to the female experience and thus far for you in the gaming industry, whether it's competing, whether it's falling into it? Is there any difference from your perspective?
I still think there's sort of a difference. Like, I know there's been a couple teams where I've met like another female on the team, and
Okay.
I've always tried to make friends with them because it's
Okay.
really hard to find other girls.
Okay.
But
Why is that, do you think?
I think it's because a lot of the girls, like, they shy away from it,
Okay.
especially like the competitive scene. Because I know a lot of my female friends who play video games, they do it more on like a relaxing, like,
Okay.
I just want to do this to de-stress kind of thing.
Okay.
And they don't try to play it super competitively, which is why I've probably not found very many other females who do this. But
Now, growing up, would you play just by yourself? Would you play with other friends? Or I guess, what was your younger experience like in the gaming world?
my younger experience, I mostly played with my brother, honestly. He's the one that got me into gaming.
Okay.
He gave me his Game Boy when I was like a child, and
When he moved on to something bigger and better, or what?
Well, he wanted me to play games with him because he
Okay.
never had I only have one brother,
Okay.
so he never had anybody to play with them.
All right.
Play them with. So I
Was there a
just-
sibling rivalry? Were you competitive? Did you?
We were pretty competitive. He got
Okay.
me into playing Call of Duty
All right.
at first. That's kind of why I really like first-person shooters, because I
Okay.
played Call of Duty when I was really young with him, and we were pretty competitive about
Okay.
it.
Now, you raised a good point, and I'm interested in learning more about the stress factor involved. Because at least when people think of a traditional college athlete or even a professional athlete, there's a lot of stress and the heat of battle and competition. Do you find that same experience when you're gaming competitively? Is it stressful? Is it a high pressure situation? How do you prepare yourself mentally for it? How do you come down from it?
I think when we're not competing, playing the game like on our own is like, I can find it pretty like stress relieving. But as soon as we start getting into like competing, I find myself getting pretty stressed because I think it's more of I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing, or I'm not as good as I should be at the game, and that's where I find most of my stress. I'm stressing that I'm not killing enough or like doing enough damage to the enemy team kind of
Okay.
thing. So there's like a lot of stress involved.
Do you get stressed?
It's very stressful, mostly because it boils down to knowing, so you see the first map, you recognize, oh, this is X map. I know where all of these areas are. This is where I may die. This is where I can support my team. This is where I can deal damage. And then the next process or the next level would be, okay, now that I have your team is they choose their own characters. They have their own roles. They're mains, as they call it. So you may have a whole team of fully dedicated DPS, or you have a full team of fully dedicated healers but no damage,
Okay.
or they could be lacking in tanks, or they could be lacking in damage, where it's nothing but just protecting an objective.
Right. So there's a real strategy to playing these
there's
games.
strategy.
It's not just seat of your pants kind of, fire away type of thing.
Yeah, there you have to just know where you should be, and the stress becomes once you step, like Maya said, you step into the competitive side. So you
Right.
have two modes: you're casual and you're competitive.
Right.
Once you step into the competitive, now you have to start building strategies, build plays. Like, okay, if I execute XYZ person, the team will be left without a healer, left without a tank, or left with no DPS. We could just move in for the kill and then just wipe them completely.
Okay.
Sometimes team fights are lost because of either your own team lacking in, they didn't kill the right person, your own team wasn't healing the right person,
Okay.
the right person wasn't resurrected, because one character can resurrect one player at a time, but they have a cooldown period of a couple of seconds, about 30-second
Okay.
cooldown. So about
This is
30
a
seconds.
fast-paced, fast-moving,
Fast moving.
high
yeah.
stress, high energy type of game.
Recognize your environment, what's happening around you, and
Okay.
knowing what's downrange in case you need to either move in or you need to back up.
Okay.
And the stress becomes, oh my God, if I mess up this play, my team loses, and then it becomes
Game over.
Becomes game over. Yeah.
There you go. Now, you're not wearing St. John's swag, but both of your T-shirts have some significance with the gaming world. Could you explain yours, Excelsior?
So New York Excelsior is the Overwatch League team that represents New York City as a whole. And
Now, this is a professional gaming team.
yes, this is I think this is the highest league, right?
It's the highest league.
Yeah.
There's nothing higher than this.
There's nothing higher than the
Okay.
Overwatch League. And they all compete with other cities and stuff like Philadelphia Fusion, Atlanta
Shanghai.
Reign.
Shanghai Dragons.
Okay.
they have
So
their
Like
own-
from all
this
over
is
the
your
world.
team. Like someone who followed the Mets or the Yankees, this is your,
Yes.
This is
your
our
gaming
Yankees,
team.
yeah.
Excelsior.
Yeah.
And your shirt is...
It's also Excelsior shirt. It was bought at a pop-up shop, NYXL. The team itself, they rented out a small place. It was around actually it was about last year. It was late December. They rented out a small place on Barrack Street.
Okay.
And for about 3 weekends, so it will only just be weekends, anyone can come in from the public, either buy merch just like this. So
Okay.
in Korean letters, it says New York Excelsior.
Okay.
And it has the entire New York landscape from
The
the
skyline,
Freedom
there you go.
Tower
Yeah.
to the Empire State Building and all of the industrial area.
Okay. Could you speak to the fan experience? Because that's a big part of the gaming experience, is that there's people who follow their favorite players just like they would, a professional sports player. Could you speak to the fan side of it a little bit?
So I think it's like any other sports. You pick the team you want to you want to represent, you want to follow, and then
Okay.
you can look at the players. Like I'm a Mets fan,
Okay.
so I really like.
Me too. Long-suffering Mets fan.
I really like DeGrom, mostly
Okay.
because of the hair.
All right.
But I also think he's a great pitcher and everything. So he's one of the players that I look at and
All
I
right.
like, and I think that's what a lot of people do when it comes to the Overwatch teams. I know DeFran, he recently got picked up by Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, he did actually.
He was a Twitch streamer, and he was really famous for Twitch streaming and being good at Overwatch.
Could you explain Twitch for the layperson?
Oh, Twitch is a streaming service. So it's a real time. Someone is playing a video game, and you just watch them play it, or they can just they can just have a video of their face, and they can just be talking to the
And this
fans
is
and stuff.
24/7. You can log in and watch somebody playing.
Yeah.
Yes,
basically.
running
Okay.
all day. And,
Okay.
and not just gaming. Twitch also provides recording sessions for NASA, because I know NASA has 24/7 live streams of
Okay.
being on any of the satellites, or even beyond, like the Hubble telescope, or even Tesla with Elon Musk. And
Right.
he's also always running live streams of him firing rockets and showing off the latest and greatest technology that
Right.
he's building. And there's just a whole plethora of channels that run or that do any type of things, or even the NYPD have its own live stream service where people can watch if they're doing conferences,
Okay.
or even news outlets like CNN,
Sure.
MSNBC, etc. They also have their own live stream services where anyone can watch 24/7, and it's a continuous run. Anyone can watch the news at any time, or even sometimes watch movies if there's a promotion with.
Okay. But
you
there's
know,
a lot of the
movie.
gaming stuff is found on that.
It's found on
that
it,
streaming
correct.
service. Could you speak to? Do you think, in some point, that gaming could make the transition to like turning on a major network? Like, we have the World Series of Poker, and people watch ESPN to watch other people play poker. Do you see that happening with the gaming, the esports, that you could tune in one night and see Excelsior playing somebody else on a major network?
I feel like that definitely could happen. I know there's some channels that do stream CS:GO. I'm not sure what channels or what leagues they were streaming, but I know there's some TV channels that did show like CS:GO, like playoffs or something.
Right.
So I know it's already starting to do that, and I feel like Overwatch is already a super big game.
Okay.
And I feel like if it keeps growing as it is, and they keep adding stuff, and the Overwatch League keeps growing and getting bigger and getting more teams,
Right.
it'll definitely.
Because there's a whole big economic factor to this. There's corporate sponsors, there's advertisements, there's a whole host of gaming and developers. There's big money involved in this. And whenever there's big money, somebody wants to capitalize on it and professionalize it. And you can see that happening?
I see it. If you ask me the same question, is esports as big as the NFL, the NHL, maybe 5 years down the line? I could tell you 100% yes.
Because this is global already.
It's a now global. It's not just an organization. Now it's become a gateway almost to any person from any walk of life, from the lowest end of society to even the highest end, and everything in between, where anyone with a computer, some time, some practice,
Right.
and a video game can make it big. They could become ninja, where they're not necessarily good at a game,
Right.
but they're famous for their personality, for their popularity, for donations, for giving to charities,
Right.
for appearing in major news networks, and representing video games, making it a more solidified way of life,
Right.
where everyone is tuned in and they can see, like Maya said, like the friend who's a professional gamer who is probably considered one of the best Overwatch players for DPS in the world, where he's signed to major contracts ranging in the
Right.
six
And
figures.
there's endorsements and
and
prize money. And
prize money in the current Tesla tournament that we're currently, my team, Maya, myself, and my team are signed into. We actually earn scholarship money, and even reaches an academic level,
Right.
and that's something St. John's capitalized, and they decided, let's support the Overwatch team, as much as we can. We'll
Right.
give them the tech commons.
Yeah.
We're able to use our machines and play and win.
And I think that's what collegiate sports is looking at. The future of this, are there scholarships? Are there recruiting? Does it become this new part of campus life? And it seems that we're already there.
I don't believe it's reached its top peak yet. I
Right.
think we're just starting, and I believe that years down the line it'll become even greater, become even bigger, with even more fans, with more people starting to tune in, as the influence of video games spread to not only just regular news outlets, to regular
Right.
stories. They become major headlines, maybe.
But isn't it ever evolving? Like, today it's Overwatch or Fortnite, or in the past it was Call of Duty. Do we risk the chance of moving on to the next big game, or is there always going to be an Overwatch community?
I think there's definitely like fads for some games,
Right.
but I know in the past, like World of Warcraft is still really big, and that
Okay.
game has been out for a very long time, and they're still adding things to it, and they're still
Right.
continuing it. So I feel like Call of Duty in the past, they had a story to it. It wasn't just here's the game, play against other players and
Right.
win and continue to do this. I know they had stories, and they didn't continue to push out like on the
New
same
content,
game.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like games like Overwatch or like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, which has also been out for a long time, and they still keep adding things to it. It's still growing, and I feel like it'll stick around for a while if they keep putting it like that.
Now you're in your first year here, you're in your senior year. If we're having this conversation 4 years from now, Maya, what does the gaming scene at St. John's look like? And 4 years from now, What are you doing in the gaming industry? You first.
I feel like there will definitely be a lot more, especially because I know they're starting the esports minor.
Right.
That'll definitely give esports at St. John's a lot more like.
So it's going to be built into
exposure.
an academic curriculum where you can study esports and the whole industry and have a career benefit from that.
Yeah, so I know it'll definitely get bigger, and hopefully we'll have more games than just League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch.
Right.
We'll probably try and get more and more games, and we'll have more and more teams, and then chances are the more teams we have and the more good players we have, we'll start winning.
Right.
And that
always helps any sport.
Yeah, winning definitely helps.
Okay.
So I feel like it'll get bigger and bigger as the years go on.
Excellent.
Definitely.
4 years from now.
4 years from now, with all this new emerging technology given to us not just by Blizzard that developed Overwatch, not just the technology here, the Tech Commons. With years, I'm able, if I can see in the future, I believe in the tech industry, it's always ever evolving. So I see myself playing with this new technology, maybe even work for an IT firm, for maybe Dell, if I see myself 4 or 5 years down the road. Starting now, maybe start at St. John's, work with its IT personnel, learn the technology, start from scratch, and then from there work my way up, absorbing more information, and then study it almost in a way without having to do it in an academic way, but do it in a more practical, hands-on way, and take that knowledge to a company that's looking for the backbone of a company's main purpose, having a secure technological foothold in this now e-commerce,
right,
if you want to call it, where competitors are now on the internet. They're not having mom and dad pop-up shops anymore.
Right.
Now it's on the internet. Are they able to keep up? So and they need a dedicated team where they can protect their assets, give the customers a service, an accessible service where they can reach in, buy what they need, and then maintain it if anything ever goes wrong. So I see myself down in the future.
Excellent. And your academic experience and your gaming experience and your Overwatch experience is just going to feed right into that.
It's everything. I believe it's all interconnected. By some manner, it all just came through into just one concise hub, and it just ran into a straight line, and all I see is
excellent
down the road into the horizon.
Good things to come. I want to thank you both, Maya and Anthony. Here at St. John's University, students are learning with the latest technology, and that learning is not limited to the traditional classroom. Video gaming and the fast-growing world of esports has made its way into academic research and the classroom curriculum. The world of esports provides an opportunity for students to play recreational or even competitive video games, and to do so as an individual, as part of a team, or even as a collegiate player. From the Queens campus of St. John's University, I'm Brian Brown. Thanks for watching.